There have been a lot of video game failures in 2024, but Dragon Age the Veilguard and Star Wars Outlaws have been two of the worst. They have been raked across the coals by gamers who were not happy with the content provided, and now we're finding out that Veilguard has actually sold worse than Outlaws in Europe. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I played both of these games and they were both terrible. Star Wars Outlaws was, I guess, technically worse since I couldn't finish it. I reached a game breaking bug in the main campaign and I could not progress the story at all whatsoever. But Dragon Age the Veilguard was truly a nightmare. It was filled to the brim with modern day terminology like transgender and non binary. You had the top surgery scar toggles, you had pronoun options, the characters were really poorly written, the story was mediocre, the environments were okay, but the game still looked slightly outdated, and just in totality, it was a really bad experience, though a new report is now claiming that BioWare's Veilguard was not even in the top 50 bestsellers in Europe, and that it performed worse than Ubisoft's Star Wars Outlaws. Now, Star Wars is a massive IP, and it was shocking when it came out, and we heard that the sales numbers were not fantastic, and even more shocking when it finally released on Steam, and its all-time peak was 2,492, because we have seen some massive Star Wars games released, even most recently, like Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Those are really great games, and they have done really well. They have sold over 15 million copies combined, which is crazy, but the last time we heard, Outlaws didn't even sell over 2 million copies. And now we're hearing that apparently Veilguard did slightly worse than Outlaws, even though neither of these games did amazing. So, games industry head Christopher Dring revealed sales from the GSD that states that Veilguard sold worse than Star Wars Outlaws in an episode of GamesIndustry.biz microcast. While discussing how poorly new games have sold compared to previous years, he shared Star Wars Outlaws was the 14th best-selling new game of the year, but number 45 overall, which, yeah, I mean, we definitely have seen a drastic decrease in sales for these large titles, and there are still some games that sell amazing. Do not get me wrong, the gaming industry is still in totality thriving, though we are seeing significantly more products put out than even going back 5 years. So when you have a ton of more products, you're bound to, get more sales. In 2024, it's estimated that the gaming industry will bring in $208 billion, which is crazy. But I do think a major reason why so many of these large games, or games that should have been large, like Star Wars Outlaws and Dragon Age the Veilguard, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, have failed, is because of the ideology behind them. People are sick and tired of this bullshit being shoved into their games, and we just want to enjoy our time. We just want to play video games. We just want to have fun, and they are really not making a lot of games that are focused on being fun anymore. They're just focused on making products that can promote a certain ideology that they support. But next he states Veilguard, which came out at the end of October, that was number 19 in the best-selling new game chart, but was number 68 overall. Just terrible games in totality, games that I would not recommend you buy. If you're a fan of Dragon Age, you are probably not going to be entertained by this because of the damage that it does to the franchise in totality. Star Wars Outlaws, it's not quite the same because it's an individual game. It's not like it's supposed to be smushed into a certain timeline and connect to other games. I think that if you are willing to still take a chance on Star Wars, you could give it a go, but neither of these games are kind of the definition of high quality. That's for sure. Lots of bugs, lots of glitches. And again, then you get into the storytelling elements, which are really bad. But Dring almost made clear that Dragon Age did not do well. It was Christmas, and in terms of AAA blockbusters, the traditional big blockbuster Christmas games, you had Call of Duty, which did well, you had Dragon Age, which did not. So that is disappointing in that position. Dragon Age had the market to itself and it couldn't find an audience, and that's really scary as we move into the following year. If you make content for the audience you already have, you're going to make money. But when you focus on making content for modern audiences, aka sensitive snowflakes on social media, it's not going to lead to sales for you. And that's something that these companies need to realize. Stop pushing away the existing audience and customer base you already have. If you do not hire activists, okay, and you just hire people who care about video games like gamers, it's going to put you in a much better position, but that's not happening right now. He also noted that Veilguard and Outlaws will likely fall down the charts given digital sales data for Black Myth Wukong and Palworld have not been released yet and thus are not included in the charts, and those are massive, massive sellers. Dring also revealed that new game sales in 2024 were significantly down compared to 2023, which I don't know where he's getting this information, but from all of the reports that have been released already, as we're getting rather close to 2025, it said that sales have been up still, not a large amount. I believe it's 3%, but 3% is still up, and the gaming industry is still technically growing. I don't know where he's getting these again, but I've seen multiple reports that say otherwise. The fact that new game sales are down nearly a third from 2023, it's being reported, that indicates what Mark Kern had actually said, calling on all gamers to not buy any AAA titles for the next 2 years that do this. Play your Steam backlog. You will send a very clear message. Lara Croft did nothing wrong and does not need fixing. And he was referring to them basically redesigning Lara Croft and changing her personality, her backstory. They're seeking to redefine the Tomb Raider series, which is ridiculous. And my stance on these topics has always been pretty clear. I think it is very important to call out bullshit. If there is a game that you are not happy with, call it out. Whether that is over on X, by sharing videos, by commenting on videos, by leaving a negative review for a game on a platform like Metacritic or on Steam, going to forums and raising questions, because when we see community managers start, blocking people's comments and hiding replies, that's how you know that they are actually listening. And even though it's not a good look for them, we can see that they are acknowledging our existence, and that means that they're facing so much backlash that they don't know what to do, and instead they're trying to hide our feedback, but it just causes the Streisand effect to occur, though it means that they are listening. And when situations like Veilguard go viral and Tosh and Barv scenes go viral, it means more and more people are becoming aware of what is happening within this industry. So as of right now, we are hearing that yes, Veilguard did sell worse than Star Wars Outlaws in Europe, which isn't particularly shocking, and I will continue to keep my eyes on, sales charts going forward. As we get into the new year, I'm sure that more will be released for 2024, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.